First, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to this very well-organized conference. It's a great honor for me to be here. I would like to present the most important results on breeding of sweet and sour cherry in Europe in the last 20 years, as well as the results of testing some newly bred cultivars. First part of my presentation will be about sweet cherry breeding. Sweet cherry production in Europe is about 730,000 tons, which represent 37% of total production in the world. The leading country is Italy, with a share of 17% in the total European production. It is followed by Russia, Spain, Romania, Ukraine, Greece, and France. The main goals in sweet cherry breedings are fruit quality in terms of size, firmness, flavor, then extension of the harvest season, particularly development of early maturing cultivars before standard cultivar burlat, lower susceptibility to fruit cracking, self-compatibility, resistance to diseases, especially bacterial canker and brown rot, then environmental adaptability, resistance to frost in areas with cold climate, and lower chilling requirement in areas with subtropical climate. The goals are also less vigor of trees and suitability for mechanical harvesting. Commonly applied methods in sweet cherry breeding are controlled hybridization and open pollination, and to a lesser extent, induced mutation and clonal selection. The number of new developed cultivars in the last 20 years in Europe is more than 210. The leading country in Europe is Ukraine. It is followed by Russian Federation, Romania, France, Czech Republic, Italy, Germany, Hungary, Estonia, and Lithuania. The number of newly developed cultivars in Ukraine in the last 20 years is about 40. 9 of them were patented. The most productive program is located at Institute of Irrigated Horticulture in Milatovic, where 29 cultivars were released. Smaller number of cultivars were released at Nikita Botanical Garden on Yalta and in Donetsk Research Station in Artemovsk. The common characteristic of Ukrainian sweet cherry cultivars are large fruit size, especially in two last cultivars, Vasilisa and Praschalnaya, that have an average fruit weight between 12 and 14 grams. As a result of breeding work in Russia in the last 20 years, 30 cultivars were released, 8 of them were patented. The most important institutions involved in sweet cherry breeding are located in Bryansk, Michurinsk, Moscow, Orel, and Krasnodar. The main breeding goal in Russia is to increase winter cold hardiness. And the fruit size is not priority, and in many new cultivars it is small to medium with average fruit weight between 4 and 6 grams. The only exception is North Caucasian cultivars where have a large fruit size above 8 grams. In Romania, sweet cherry breeding takes place at 3 research institutions. At Fruit Research Station in Iasi, 15 cultivars were released. In Institute Pitești Marațineni, 8 cultivars were released, and at Fruit Research Station Bistrița, 6 cultivars were released. The only self-compatible cultivars is Maria, which is of medium-late ripening time. In France, there are 2 important sweet cherry breeding programs. One is located at INRA. It is a state public program in Bordeaux, The main breeding objectives are good fruit quality, then precocity, high yielding, early and late maturation, and tolerance to fruit cracking. In the last 20 years, about 14 new cultivars were released of different time of maturation. The second important sweet cherry breeding program in France is private program led by Paul Argot. The main breeding objectives are early maturation and large fruit size. The most important cultivars from this program are early Lori and early Biggie, which mature 2 to 5 days before Burlat. Sweet cherry breeding in Czech Republic takes place at Research and Breeding Institute of Pomology in Holovouci. The leader of this program is Jitka Blaškova, and the mainly used cultivars as parents in hybridization are cultivars Van and Cordia. In the period after 1990, 18 new cultivars were released. There are their names, and the only self-compatible cultivar is Halka with a late season. In Italy, sweet cherry breeding at the University of Bologna began in 1983. It was led by Silviero Sansavini and Stefano Lugli. The main breeding objectives are self-compatibility, extended of harvest season, good fruit quality, big size, good firmness, and also the taste, and tolerance to fruit cracking. Of course, precocity, high yielding are also main breeding objectives. 7 cultivars of so-called star series are released so far. 2 are of early ripening, sweet early and early star. Then cultivars of medium early season, Grey Star, Blaze Star, Black Star, and Big Star, and 1 is of late maturation time, Lala Star. These all cultivars reported to be self-compatible, but later some of them found to be self-incompatible, such as Sweet Early and Lala Star. The oldest sweet cherry breeding program in Italy started in Verona in 1956, and it was led by Giorgio Bargioni. This program is no longer active, but in the period after 90, 5 new cultivars were released. 4 of them are self-compatible: Isabella, Enrica, Giulietta, and Lucrezia. One of the characteristics of this breeding program is a specific goal to create cultivars suitable for mechanical harvesting. In Germany, there are 2 important sweet cherry breeding programs. One is located in the north of Germany in Research Center York. The most important cultivar developed by this center was Regina, which is widely grown cultivar in many European countries and also in the USA. In the period after 1990, 2 new cultivars were released, Johanna of medium early and Carina of late season. The second breeding program is located in East Germany. It was started in the 50s in Naumburg, and later in the 70s it was moved to Dresden-Pillnitz. The names of the cultivars created in this institute start with Na, which indicates their origin from Naumburg. In Hungary, sweet cherry breeding takes place at Research Institute for Fruit Growing and Ornamentals in Budapest. The breeder is János Apostol, and most frequently used cultivars as parents are Germersdorfer, Burlat, and Stella. In the last 20 years, 10 new cultivars were released. 4 of them having male names are self-compatible. It is unusual. And 6 cultivars having female names are self-incompatible. Of self-compatible cultivars, Shandor have early maturation, Peter and Paul medium early, and Alex is late cultivar. Of self-incompatible cultivars, Rita is very early, Anita and Tunde early, Aida Vera and Carmen are medium early, and Kavix is a late cultivar. Sweet cherry breeding has also been done in other European countries such as Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, Belarus, Bulgaria, United Kingdom, Switzerland, and Serbia. The second part of this presentation will be about sour cherry breeding in Europe. Production of sour cherries in Europe is about 800,000 tons, which represent 64% of total production in the world. Leading country is Russia with a share of 24% in the total European production.